Imagine an army that never shrank in size. Soldiers died in battle, but the next day, the enemy saw the same unit, exactly 10,000 soldiers, as if death had no power over them. This isn't fantasy or mysticism. This is a historical reality from the ancient world. We're in the 6th century BCE, when great empires were crumbling one after another, and from their ruins rose a new power, the Persian Empire. In its arsenal was a weapon the world had never seen before, an elite unit of 10,000 professional warriors, dubbed the Immortals by the Greeks. These warriors fought against the most legendary armies of antiquity. They stood against the 300 Spartans of King Leonidas in the narrow pass of Thermopylae. They defended the Persian king from Alexander the Great's Macedonian phalanxes at Gaugamela. Over 2 centuries, they became a symbol of invincibility and fear across the entire ancient world. But what lay behind their mythical reputation? Were they truly immortal, or was it a brilliant military strategy that was millennia ahead of its time? How could a small unit terrorize armies that outnumbered them many times over? Today, we're uncovering all the secrets of antiquity's most mysterious military unit. You'll learn how their resurrection system worked, what revolutionary weapons they used, and why their tactics are still studied in military academies around the world. Get ready for a journey into an era when war was an art and warriors were true artists of death. Ready? Let's dive in. To understand how the Immortals came about, we need to plunge into the world of the mid-6th century BCE. Picture the ancient Near East as a gigantic chessboard where great empires played a game for world domination. Mighty Babylon, once the terror of the entire region, was in a period of decline. Pharaoh's Egypt, builders of pyramids and conquerors of Nubia, was also losing its former might. A massive power vacuum was opening up for whoever dared to fill it. And that's when a man steps onto the historical stage whose name would forever change the map of the world: Cyrus the Great. From the small kingdom of Anshan in modern-day Iran, he began building an empire that would become the largest in human history up to that point. But Cyrus knew that to conquer half the world, a big army wasn't enough. He needed something fundamentally new. The problem was that most armies of the time were temporary militias, farmers, craftsmen, and merchants called up mainly for war. After the battle, they returned to their plows and anvils. These soldiers could be brave, but they lacked professionalism and unity. But Cyrus envisioned something revolutionary for his era: a standing professional army, an elite corps that would serve not for a season but for life. Warriors who would eat, sleep, and breathe war. Soldiers for whom battle was not a duty, but a calling. Thus was born the idea of a unit of 10,000 professional warriors, the future Immortals, who were destined to become the symbol of Persian power and a terror to all enemies of the empire. Now, the most interesting part. Where did their legendary immortality come from? The secret lies in a brilliant, simple, yet terrifyingly effective system devised by Cyrus the Great. Imagine you're the commander of an enemy army, and yesterday, in a brutal battle, you saw with your own eyes hundreds of Persian warriors fall under your soldiers' blows. You celebrate victory, confident you've inflicted serious damage on the enemy. But the next morning, there stands the same unit again. Exactly 10,000 warriors in gleaming armor, as if yesterday's battle never happened. How is that possible? It all came down to a revolutionary replacement system. The Immortals' numbers always remained constant, exactly 10,000. If a warrior died, fell ill, or was wounded, his place was immediately taken by a new fighter from a massive reserve corps. This rotation happened so quickly that enemies didn't have time to notice the difference. Selection for the Immortals was incredibly rigorous. Candidates were recruited only from the noblest families of Persia, Media, and Elam. This ensured not only high-quality training, but also absolute loyalty to the throne. After all, These men served not for pay. They were defending their own power and privileges. Training began in childhood. Boys from aristocratic families learned horse riding, archery, fencing, and enduring inhuman hardships from an early age. They were raised in the spirit of Zoroastrian principles, where lying was the greatest sin and honor the highest virtue. This created not just a unit of soldiers, but a true caste of warrior-aristocrats for whom service was not a burden, but an honor and the meaning of life. Now, let's break down what made the Immortals so deadly on the battlefield. Their secret wasn't just in the mystical immortality, but in revolutionary equipment and tactics that were centuries ahead of their time. Starting with armor. While most armies used heavy bronze armor, the Persians invented something ingenious: iron scale armor. Thousands of small metal plates overlapping like fish scales provided excellent protection while allowing the warrior freedom of movement. Imagine being able to run, jump, shoot a bow, and still be shielded from most strikes. Their headgear, soft felt tiaras, could be pulled over the face for protection from sand and sun. Practicality in everything. That was the principle of Persian military engineers. But the real revolution was in their weapons. The Immortals wielded what I call the deadly trio: bow, spear, and short sword. This made them versatile fighters, effective at any range, from long-distance combat to hand-to-hand fighting. Their large wicker shields, covered in leather, could be easily stuck into the ground to create a mobile wall, or sparabara. Behind this cover, archers fired precise shots, and when it was time to attack, the shields were quickly lifted and the warriors advanced. The world had never seen such tactical flexibility. Hoplites with their heavy spears and bronze shields could only fight effectively in tight formation. The Immortals, however, could reorganize on the fly, adapting to any battle situation. Being an Immortal meant more than just serving in the army. It was a ticket to the highest caste in Persian society. These warriors lived in luxury that would seem excessive even to Hollywood stars today. Imagine a warrior whose body is adorned with gold necklaces, bracelets, and breastplates, gleaming in the sun like stars. Their clothing was made from the finest fabrics and decorated with precious stones. But this wasn't just for show. Every element of their gear was a work of art, demonstrating the power and wealth of the Persian Empire. During campaigns, a veritable caravan of luxury followed the Immortals. Hundreds of servants carried exquisite food, not soldier rations, but delicacies fit for a royal table. Personal attendants cared for their weapons and armor, while concubines brightened the long evenings after battles. Within the Immortals' core itself, there was an even more prestigious elite: the 1,000 warriors of the king's personal guard, known as the Apple Bearers. Their spears were topped with golden pomegranates instead of ordinary tips. These warriors had the honor of being in the immediate presence of the King of Kings and enjoyed special privileges even among the elite. The remaining 9,000 Immortals carried silver pomegranates on their spears, which also emphasized their high status compared to ordinary soldiers. All this luxury served an important strategic purpose. It was a powerful tool for motivation. Every Persian youth dreamed of the honor of becoming an Immortal. At the same time, it was a public demonstration of the empire's strength. If even the soldiers lived like princes, imagine the power of their ruler. The first serious test for the Immortals was the Battle of Opus in 539 BCE. The great Cyrus led his new elite army against ancient Babylon, one of the richest cities in the world. Though the details of the battle are lost to the ages, Babylonian chronicles clearly attest to the Persians' crushing victory. The Immortals showcased their new combined attack tactics, routing the Babylonian army and opening the path to the Pearl of Mesopotamia. This victory not only brought Cyrus immense wealth, but also established the Immortals' reputation as an invincible force. What do you think? Who would win, the Immortals versus Roman legionaries? Share your answer in the comments, and if you enjoyed the video, support us with a like and subscription. See you in the next one.